Comparisons require a little context. The value of a product like a tablet is difficult to judge if we stay in this kind of gadget echo chamber. I got a lot of comments on my first OnePlus Pad video from folks who didn't see the value in the OnePlus Pad, mostly jumping on one spec or one omission to declare it an outright deal breaker. Hardware specs in a vacuum don't tell the whole story. I think the price is an important piece of data, and that context matters. We need the perspective. I wanted to stage a comparison that really tested this tablet's budget. One of my favorite student-grade laptops is the Surface Laptop Go 2. I have the 8GB of RAM model with 128GB of storage. Full MSRP is $699, but I've seen it on sale for closer to $600. A OnePlus Pad costs $479, and the keyboard case is another $150. I already feel it in the comments. Yes, there are cheaper student-grade laptops with some similar specs, but I'm purposely choosing the Laptop Go 2 as it's a really nicely built student machine, and it feels higher quality than less expensive Chromebooks. And I think that lines up a bit better against the OnePlus Pad, which is also built nicer than a lot of plastic-backed carrier tablets for around $400. We're paying premiums for both because both are built nicer than less expensive alternatives. What does this actually look like in real-world use? Starting with hardware, both have LCD touchscreens, but the OnePlus touchscreen has 4 million more pixels than the laptop, and the OnePlus screen can crank up to 144Hz refresh. The Laptop Go 2 has a larger 12.4-inch display than the 11.6 on the OnePlus, but every interaction on the tablet is going to feel smoother for that refresh rate. The UI is liquidy in a way that this laptop is just kind of practical. This isn't a fancy convertible or a Slate, it's not a Surface Pro, so the laptop is going to be a little chunkier for the engineering and how a hinge connects to the various parts and internal computer guts and the fans, but this extra space can go to good use. Offering a larger keyboard and a larger trackpad will certainly be a benefit to many, especially people who are doing a lot of writing. I don't know if you can hear this on the video, but doing nothing, the laptop fan just kicked on. And of course, a laptop can angle the screen more ergonomically than this keyboard case will support. It's locked in at this one angle. Hilariously, neither of these options have a backlit keyboard. That's certainly going to be a con for a lot of users out there, but I think the overall control win for more classic computing is going to go to the more traditional laptop. The flip side, being able to detach the screen and just go totally Slate. Doing that trick in Surface land with a Surface Slate is roughly $100 more MSRP on the Surface Go 3. Same storage and RAM, then you're moving down to an Intel Core i3. Back to these two. The OnePlus supports pen input, but at this price, we're not really going to add that to the comparison seriously, except for me mentioning it here now. It adds a lot of potential, though, for fine point computing and for art and graphics work. Considering the OnePlus Pad is just a hair thicker, by itself without the keyboard case, is just a hair thicker than the laptop screen, it's impressive to see the battery capacity between these two is pretty close. The OnePlus at roughly a 36 watt-hour cell and the Surface at a 40 watt-hour cell. And the OnePlus charges quite a bit faster with 67 watt charging. The charger that came with my Surface tops out at 39 watts. The speakers on the laptop are impressively engineered for being built into the keyboard. They're not taking up any other space. They point directly up at your face. They're not bouncing off of the table. They sound way better than they have any right to. But the more traditional quad tablet speaker array on the OnePlus just sounds a little better to my ears. The OnePlus Pad is smaller, it's more portable, but the laptop has a couple ports that make it more flexible as a computer. Now, both of these can attach accessories over USB-C or use some kind of laptop hub, but the laptop has a legacy USB-A port, a surprisingly decent headphone jack, and the dedicated magnet charging slot. Just gonna pop that right back in because I forgot to charge this before shooting this video, and it takes a bit longer to charge. The computer side of this is where the Surface can tackle a few specific wins, like video output. You can hook the Surface up to another monitor and extend the desktop, where the OnePlus is always going to be a single screen experience that has no video out through the USB-C port. And of course, we're talking about Android versus Windows, Android 13 versus Windows 11. So from a software compatibility perspective, there isn't much of a battle here. The Surface can use Windows, Android, and Linux applications and has a true multi-window, multitasking operating system. Android 13 continues to offer some simple multitasking and split screen use. OnePlus has a cute little system for sliding an app into a floating window and docking it to the side of the screen. It's totally functional. The user and the situation really matters here. If I'm on an airplane tray table, I'm probably not doing a ton of heavy multitasking, and the smaller, lighter device is handier for focusing on a specific task or two. The Surface can become a more robust computer at home though, with another monitor and attaching other accessories. Plus, we have better software support on the laptop, but the tablet is going to outright win the performance per watt fight. If we put up a fight like file compression using RAR, a heavily CPU-bound task, the Intel Core i5 here is going to win. It'll crunch more data per second, but the Dimensity 9000 in this tablet is no slouch and uses a lot less power. It's the ARM SoC advantage. Now, we can't use exactly the same programs to test, but the completion of similar tasks shows a clear advantage for well-optimized ARM apps, like video editing. The apps meant to streamline quick edits on Windows, not as robust, and often they kind of cap quality at 1080p. We can fire up Kdenlive or DaVinci Resolve, but performance is only okay at this tier of machine. LumaFusion on the OnePlus Pad delivers faster edits and rendering speed when we produce similar projects on both systems. This runs the gamut on other tasks like photo editing and audio editing too. The main hurdle is finding the software that can help you get real work done out in the field and being open to the idea of using different programs than you might be previously familiar with. Outright CPU power is an advantage for the Intel machine, especially when you can deal with the fan noise and have it plugged into an outlet. But gaming is just plain better on the mobile chips now. The GPU on the OnePlus is a champ. And again, we have a wealth of good gaming options to play with, either Android games, emulators, or game streaming solutions. You simply can't drive a game beyond 60 FPS on this laptop, and you can on the tablet. You can technically play more games on this, but you probably wouldn't want to. I've been touting mobile hardware for years. Mobile production, mobile gaming. Traditional work and gaming laptops can win fights when power is no issue. You could buy a creator laptop with a Core i9 and an RTX graphics card, and as long as it's plugged into an outlet, it'll fight all other computing options. But performance per dollar and performance per watt, mobile chips are mopping the floors with similarly priced x86 computers, especially when you play to their strengths with good apps. All right, wrapping this all up. The Surface has been brilliant in our home. It's replaced our Pixelbook Go as the home browsing machine. Wherever we might need an internet portal, it's ready to give us access to the internet. And it's so much nicer than what we usually sell as a student-grade machine. The OnePlus Pad can fill that role really well too. And after I've been on this crusade for a couple years now of mobile production and mobile entertainment, there are numerous heavy compute situations that I'd probably take the tablet over the laptop these days. If you caught my initial OnePlus Pad review or any of my videos in the past, I regularly talk about tablets as solutions in search of problems. But considering the price to performance available now, these things can solve a lot of problems. There's no single magical unicorn one-size-fits-all gadget that's perfect for everyone. So the pros and cons really matter when you're shopping. I said it in the first video, and I'm gonna say it again here. It's really nice having a bit more competition in Android tablet land. Like, we can take these machines a bit more seriously than we could in years past. And if we're gonna detail the pros and cons of something like a tablet, I feel the price and the comparisons matter beyond one spec, like OLED versus LCD. If that's all we're boiling this stuff down to, we're not really helping people find the right machine for their needs. I'm sure my audience has some strong thoughts on this topic, so drop some comments down below. Don't be shy, and maybe smash that bell icon on your way down under this video. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel. All the support lately has been absolutely fantastic. If you're clicking on links, if you're visiting my home site, SomeGadgetGuy.com, or if you're joining the list of names scrolling by on your screen from my Patreon, patreon.com/SomeGadgetGuy. This list is basically the coolest collection of tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet. I stream my podcast on the Twitch. I'm spending a lot more time on the Mastodons, hanging out over there. I'm trying to revive a Flickr account because it's better for photo sharing, and a little less so these days on the Twitters and the Instagrams, on the Facebooks, but I will catch you all on the next comparison.